Good morning, children. Today we are going to read the poem Dust of Snow. And Dust of Snow poem has been written by Robert Frost. Robert Frost is not a new name for you. You have already read the poem in class 9, and the poem was Road Not Taken. The Road Not Taken was an autobiographical account written by the poet. There you read also that the poet Robert Frost is from America, and he wanted to cultivate the profession of a writer, and not being successful, he wanted to have a settlement there in Britain. A lot of poems he wrote there, compositions he made there, but he was not at all successful, and that is why he shifted to Britain there from America, selling entire his property. And whatever the experience that he got there in the particular country, and whether he got successful or not, that has been recorded in the poem. So that you found here. The Dust of Snow has been an account of the poet, personal account might be also, that even insignificant changes that are happening in our life, that might be affecting a serious change, that might be bringing about a serious change, that has been described in the poem. So now, Dust of Snow, the words are quite understandable, comprehensible for you. Dust is something referring to flake like snow, cotton like snow that falls there in so cool places there. You found there different places there are there in India even, where the cotton like snow falls and deposited on trees, even the various objects, houses also, and that are even if deposition is more there, it is affecting our life. A lot of disturbance is being created. There's Srinagar, etc., or the Jammu Kashmir areas are there, Himachal areas are there, even the Kumaon Gadwal areas are there in Uttarakhand. So this dust of snow, these flakes of snow that are falling there, are creating a lot of disturbance. If fallen there in a large amount, large quantity. So here, dust of snow has fallen on a particular tree where the poet is also sitting, and the poet is having a very sad and sorrowful day. And this fall of a snow that is made to fall on the poet himself is bringing about a change. His sad day is being changed into a very hopeful day, very happy day, very pleasant day. So that is happening there. Now see here, the next slide is there. That picture has been additionally added for your convenience and for your understanding, easy understanding. So now the second yes, slide is there. Dust of Snow introduction, you see, the poem Dust of Snow by Robert Frost is a simple and short poem, yet with a uh, deeper and larger meaning is there. The poet explains how an act as petty, means small, as experiencing snow on one's body can brighten one's day up. The message of the poem is put into words by Robert Frost. Always, always a larger significance, a little thing touches a larger thing. So these two lines even are sufficient to describe that might be that will be quite sorry, sad feeling, this dejected feeling will be feeling of dejection will be there, depression will be there, but something happening, it is very small, and that is even bringing about a greater change in our life, and the entire scene is changed there. The similar thing can happen that we are very happy and a small sad thing happens, and that also can bring about a greater change and make us very sad, very gloomy. So this may happen. So this is here the content. Now see, the third slide is there for you. It is here. Now see, the background is there. The poem is set in a scene where the poet is in a bad mood and is walking by a tree. A hemlock tree is there. The hemlock tree is not unusual. It is very usual phenomenon here in our locality also. And this tree is also having the fruits and flowers, and that are used for worshipping purpose also, जिसे हम धतूरा के नाम से जानते हैं. It is used in the worshipping of Lord Shiva also. Hemlock tree is a poisonous tree. It is really having toxicity. The content is quite toxic. As he passes by, a crow happens to throw some snow on dust, snow of dust on him, snow dust on him. Whether it falls on his head or shoulders is unknown. Why? Because the text is not describing. It is only the movement is being created on the plant, on the tree, and this because of the movement created by the particular bird, the snowflakes are falling down, and the poet is getting that, poet is receiving that, poet is experiencing the fall, and his day is changed. So, as there is no specific mention in the poem, that is why we can't say that where this particular flake fell down. Also, the readers are left in doubt about the bird's specific action, whether the crow was landing, shivering with cold, readjusting itself on the branch or taking off. It happened itself on the branch or taking off. It happened to send some particles of the snow. These are all the things of speculation. Here, the two agents of hemlock tree and crow are sadness and gloom, just like the poet's mood was in the opening scene. See, both the objects mentioned here, it is really very peculiar that the poet is very sad. And he is also even referring those things which are sadness creating. Hemlock itself is having ominous this symbol. Crow itself is having ominous symbol, sad symbol. When we also, when we are ready to begin some journey, begin some work, begin something good, and then we find some crow is crying, cawing, or making natural sound, we feel that something bad is going to happen. Hemlock tree is also having the similar meaning, that it is having toxicity, and this is not found to be having good indication in our life. But even these two things that are indicating bad in our life, and they are used as a symbol, and these two things, the bad symbols having, are bringing about a good change. So this is really peculiar. Now go for the content is there. See here, the dust of snow. The way a crow, 8 lines are there, very small poem is there. The way a crow swooped down on me, the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I had wrote. Robert Frost, the poet is there. Now see here, the scene is there, any poem, any composition, whether the poem is there, a story is there, novel is there, drama is there, biography is there, any sort of composition if it is there, any genre of literature is there, we are having three basic elements. The characters are there, scene setting is there, and plot is there. Three elements are basic. So you find that crow is the character chief one. The poet himself is there. Crow is there. Another this tree is also hemlock tree. These are the characters. Tree is also added as a character. Crow is there. Poet himself is there. The scene setting is there. That maybe some natural surrounding is there. Forest, garden, etc. Some shrubby area, bushy area. The poet is there sitting under that particular small tree. Hemlock tree is there. So this is scene setting. Plot is there, that the cool season is there, cold season is there, the snowflakes are falling down, they are deposited on the branches, they are deposited on the leaves, etc. And fortunately, unfortunately, a crow is sitting there, and that is making some movement, and because of the movement being created by the crow, the snowflakes are falling down. So this is the plot. These are the incidents happening. Characters you found: crow, hemlock tree, and even the poet. And scene setting is there, that natural surrounding is there, and there the poet is sitting under the hemlock tree. And a plot incident that is happening, that is made by crow. The incident is movement is being created by the crow, that the makes the flakes fall down, makes the dust fall down, deposited snow fall down. So the first 4 lines are there. They are having this meaning explanation here, that the way, the mood, the process. The way means the mood or the process. The crow is going, as it is sitting on the particular tree, some branch it may be, a twig-like branch, or a strong branch, weaker branch, stronger branch. The crow is not having that much of faith. It is sitting here, and the process, the mode, the way it is going to have the movement creation, sitting down, shook down, shook second, sitting down. So going to have the movement creation, and going to this sway up and down like. So it is going to sway up and down the twig, the branch, thin or thick, maybe. So going to sit down the tree branch, and whatever the snow that is deposited on the leaf, on the even branch, it is going to, because of the movement created, it is going to fall. And this fall of the snow from the hemlock tree is going to fall below where the poet is sitting. So this is happening in all these forest enjoy, four lines. So the way, the process that the crow is going to have the movement creation where he is sitting, maybe the thin or thick branch, and the dust or the flakes of deposited snow that is there, flake of snow is there from that hemlock tree, that is going to fall down. And this particular falling activity, the falling down activity, has given my heart. Whose heart is referred here? The heart of the poet. So the heart of the poet is getting a change. Uh, this is here being this text is not clarifying that the poet was really from when or from how much time the poet was having this dejection, depression, sorrow prevalence. This why he was so gloomy, and from when he was so gloomy, how much time he has spent in gloom. So, but the reference is there that he was really gloomy. He was sad enough, sorrowful enough, in dejection, in depression. But this activity, that the movement that the pro has made of making this snow, dust of snow fall down, is bringing about a change. A change of mood is there. The sad mood is being converted into a happy mood, a pleasant mood, a good mood, and saved some part of a day I had wrote. So now the poet has to say that the whatever the part of the day that he has spent, that was spent in gloom, that was spent in depression, that was spent in sorrow, dejection, that is the remaining part, the remnant of the day, the remainder of the day is going to be saved. And it is being converted now from sadness to joy. So now the rest part that is saved now, rest part that is remaining now of the day is going to be having a changed condition, and he is now going to enjoy the joy. So this is happening. Actually, he was having a rueful condition. I had wrote when he was in repentance because of some misdeed might be, because of some mishappening might be, something that bad that has happened bad for the on the particular day or the earlier days also. So that is why he was in dejection. That is why he was in sorrow. And now the part of the day that was still they are not finished is unfinished day. Is going to be converted into a very joyful day, a very pleasant day, a very gleeful day. So that is the content of the poem, that you found that the crow that was sitting in on a hemlock tree, and this tree is having laden with even the leaves are there, twigs or branches are there, laden with the dust of flakes of snow, and that movement that the crow is creating is making the snow, dust of snow, deposited snow fall down. And under the tree, under the branches of the tree, the poet is sitting. He was there in rueful condition, repentant condition. He was there having a very thoughtful condition. He was there in sad and sorrowful mode. Dejection he was in, depression he was in, and the part of the day that was unfinished is going to having a change condition. So here two words are there. Hemlock is having a meaning. I told you earlier even. Now see again, a poisonous plant, tree with a small white flowers. A root is held in regret. See the questions are there. This poem presents a moment that seems simple, and even it is having a very significant meaning is there. So we have to compare these other quotations from Robert Frost. A little thing touches a larger thing. So this poem is having this meaning or message only, that we are having this various happenings, various incidents in our life, but even insignificant happenings that are not so momentous, that are not so significant, that are not so important, but these unmomentous, insignificant, this unimportant happenings might bring about a greater change in life. Right? This is the message of the poem. So the questions are there. And what is a dust of snow? That is nothing but the flakes of snow deposited there. So, and this is changing. How has the poet's mood changed? The reason, the answer is there, that the incident that has been caused by the movement that has been caused by the crow, that has brought about a greater change, and that has changed the mood of the poet that was in dejection, that was in depression. How does the frost present nature in the poem? The following questions may help you to think of one answer. See here, what are the birds that are usually named in poems? Do you think a crow is often mentioned in poem? So you'll find that generally the crow is not a subject matter. The cuckoo is the subject matter. You found in there in class 9 solitary but poem is there written by William Wordsworth. So cuckoo has been subject matter. This skylark has been subject matter. The good birds are there the subject matter. But even there, here the crow has been taken, that is insignificant, that is also ominous, having the bad sense also. What images come in your mind when you think of a crow? So generally it is common, you know also that when a crow comes in your mind, generally it is indicating something bad will be there. So it is ominous, having the bad indication. Again, what is a hemlock tree? Hemlock tree, I told you even earlier that you know well that it is a kind of tree that bears fruits and flowers and that are having toxicity in nature. They are causing this poisonous effect. Why doesn't the poet write about a more beautiful tree such as a maple or an oak or a pine? The reason is there that he has to convey the meaning that even we think that the insignificant thing is there, but insignificant things and incidents even bring about change. So that is why he has chosen all these things. What do the crow and hemlock represent? Joy or sorrow? Sorrow, definitely it is there. What does the dust of snow that the crow shakes off a hemlock tree stand for? Dust of snow that stands for something that is bringing, that is the harbinger of joy, harbinger or message giver of joy. So this is here. So these are the questions that you will be doing it yourself. Now the chapter is going to end. I will stop sharing now. And today's class is ending. We'll be meeting you the next day. It's all right. Very good.